Mayor Sharkey led the fight against the infamous view tax, was instrumental in writing and passing Port Hueneme City Charter, and saved Shady the cat, City Hall cat, from eviction. He is chair of the Ventura Regional Sanitation District and is the director of the Beach Erosion Authority, Beacon. Joan is a 1971 graduate of the University of Massachusetts, Amherst, married to the lovely Dr. Beverly Kelly, professor of communications at California State University, California Lutheran University, and columnist for the Ventura County Star. We have a full agenda today, so without further ado, Mayor Sharkey.
Thank you, Tracy. I think maybe we got to update that resume. Well, good morning, Port Hueneme. It's a beautiful day in Port Hueneme. I want to introduce Michelle Asuncion, who's working really hard on the PowerPoint. She put this all together, and the format today is going to be, I'm going to sort of ramble on in a random fashion for a while, and Michelle is going to put slides up that will get me back on track. So the state of Port Hueneme is improving. We have come through, as have everyone in this room, a very difficult time in these last few years economically. We are beginning to stabilize things. In times of crisis or times of opportunity, we are making some organizational changes that will make us more resilient into the future, position us for a more stable future, as I would like to do. We have come through some storms, natural storms, and political storms, forming a perfect storm, which caused us some problems, as you may be aware, down at the beach. That, we're beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel there as well. So there are a number of things going on in our city. And if I can, let's start with the challenges. Yes, challenges we have. Let's say the issue that's number one on everybody's mind, I think, is the issue of beach erosion, the things that are happening on our beach. As you are aware, or should be aware if you're not, the entire Surfside neighborhood is man-made. We depend on the Corps of Engineers coming by every 2 years and putting sand on our beach from the sand trap at Channel Islands Harbor. That's subject to congressional appropriation. I think we all know what's been going on in Congress the last few years. And the problem is we have an engineering problem, not a budget problem. You can cut the budget by 10%, you can cut the budget by 50%, you can cut the budget by 90%, and the rate of erosion is going to stay the same. So when we got caught up in all the continuing resolutions and the budget cuts, the budget for the Corps of Engineers was not adequate to keep up, and this is the result. Now, we also had some difficulty with our state staff at the Coastal Commission. I won't even go into that right now, but if you saw the news, last Thursday at the Coastal Commission, we did get a permit to permanently keep the rock revetment in place. Now understand, this is going to be buried under 15 feet of sand coming the 1st of October when the dredging begins. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank our Assemblymember Jeff Gorell, State Senator Hannah Jackson, who did remarkable work at the state level to get us access to about $2 million from the Coastal Conservancy, which will help reimburse our costs. Congressmember Jackson has done a remarkable job with the budget. We have a normal budget allocation this year for the first time in many years, but that's still not enough. We still have to go back. We need to get more sand next year. And the Congress members got a couple of amendments into the Water Resources Development Act that are going to help us do that. And so hopefully we can get a mid-cycle replenishment next year, and then we come back in the third year and get a full-cycle replenishment, and we should be back to normal at that point. And then I guess we can go another 20 years. It seems every 20 years Congress screws up. In the 70s there was a problem, in the 90s there was a problem, and here we are now. So that may be an issue for a future generation of city council to deal with, but right now we are on track to get back to our normal allocation of sand and having a beach back again. So thanks to everybody on that. The question, indeed. We have Amanda and Sandra here from the offices, and they did great work here in the field, and the folks back in DC did great work, and their bosses did great work as well. Questions about, the pier, of course, is closed. I was hoping we could get that open for pedestrian traffic this year. For the summer, we're not going to be able to do that. Some of the damage is a result of having not enough sand around the pilings. We will start repairs, but there's no point in doing that until we get sand back on the beach. So the pier is going to remain closed for the season, and that's tough on everybody. It's tough on the Surfside Seafoods, and it's tough on the people that rely on that for fishing. But that's one of the unfortunate side effects that adds to when we think about all the costs that we have incurred due to the simple failure of folks in Congress not living up to their responsibilities. I mean, it really is kind of staggering. Next big issue, Oxnard Harbor District. We have our friends here from the Harbor District. If you read the paper, you probably read a few things about this. I will say that as one of the folks that was involved in the negotiations of the 95 agreement, working carpenters here, he was one of the other folks. There's an alternative dispute resolution clause in that agreement, and I was one of the folks that insisted it be in there. When we discovered a discrepancy with the Harbor District's payments to the city, we started going through the process that we had all agreed on in the agreements. Now understand, the Harbor District is a large industrial use in the middle of our city. It's a separate government entity. We have no control over it. They're a separate, as a government agency, they don't pay taxes. So what we have is a revenue sharing agreement to compensate the taxpayers of the city of Fort Wayne for the impacts of having the port. That's what this is all about. We've been going through a process now going on 5 years. The city is very eager to resolve this issue. We've had numerous meetings, official meetings, unofficial meetings. We've discussed this with board members and staff, and we're at a point now where we are in arbitration over part of the agreement with Judge Stone. Some of you know Judge Stone. That process has been delayed at the request of the Harbor Commission. We'll probably start with him in November. The most recent letter we got from them, the one that was reported in the paper, basically says, I know we've been working on this for 5 years now, but let's forget that. Let's start all over and begin a new process that's completely outside the agreement. Well, we're willing to entertain that. I'll say that right now. We're willing to entertain that. But we have to finish the process that we've started first. We need to resolve this. City's willing and eager to resolve this. It's not the city that's been holding this process up. All right, and the next big issue that's on everybody's mind, that was a smooth transition, is water. We all know what's happening around the state. The governor's asked everybody to reduce their water consumption by 20%. We certainly agree with that, but we have, going back to the construction of the Fort Wayne Water Agency, the water treatment plant, and Jim Daniels was involved in that, or Bean is here involved with that. That was right when I first came on the council. One of the things that we were able to do by constructing that plant was get into the state water system through the Cayugas Municipal Water District. Cayugas has been very progressive, and in terms of storage, building underground storage, they've got actually a very good supply, and they are not faced with some of the shortages that we are in some other places, or even some of the rate increases. The difficulties with our other water supplier, which is United Water Conservation District, though they are subject to a 20% reduction. As far as the city goes, we right now don't anticipate any difficulties. We right now don't anticipate that we're going to have to implement any stringent water saving measures. We are always looking, and this is one of, going back to my days with Tony Young on the council, we're always looking at better ways to use our landscaping in a more water efficient way. We're still doing that. That's part of it. We are also looking at another re-examination of our rate structure. Seems like we just did that, but it actually was a few years ago, and circumstances have changed, and we do need to keep up with the times. And so we are going to indeed be looking at our water rates, and we'll see how they fit. The meter program that we had has helped a lot. The difficulties we had with the meter program is not with measuring the water. It was, we had a system that companies don't want to do business for a good reason. A lot of people had trouble with them. It was a remote reading system, and we don't need to get into that, but we've replaced the defective meters with meters that are easy to read, and we are getting water savings. For those of you who don't remember, we used to have a flat rate, so everybody paid the same. If you didn't use any water, you paid the same as somebody that had, was using a lot of water. And this is a more fair system, and it is working, and we are saving water. So I think we're looking pretty good on our water usage. But one of the issues that has concerned me for a long time, and you recall